And that's exactly the point, that so many people are supporting rail because, it's, as you call it correctly, is the do something. They are so tired of the do nothing.
Yeah.
However, we really have to compare apples with apples. And the rail, even if you believe the city is $5.5 billion, of which $4 billion is local money. Now, when we built the H3 that a lot of people compare it to, if we were to build it today, the H3 was only $1.6 billion. So big difference in magnitude, and 80%, 80, came from the feds. So the actual cost of the H3 was in the order of $300 million in today's money. So we're talking relative peanuts. $300 million versus $4 billion. And then you have the $4 billion and only 2 to 3% use it. It is very, very bad. That's why we started again from economy, but you know, the rail has really the huge potential to create an economic black hole on top of other economic calamities that are in the horizon.
Panos,
so
you've been quick to point out also, when you talk about jobs, that most of the jobs are going to be on the mainland, or they're going to be from mainland people coming here. The purchase of equipment and hardware is going to be from, Lord knows, either the mainland or Korea or Canada.
No, we already know who it's going to be. Bombardier.
Yeah, that's right.
Bombardier, yes.
Bombardier.
Yeah.
We already know that's a done deal.
It's, well,
Oh, well, no, the bid hasn't gone out yet. How could we possibly know that? Right?
because everywhere
Right.
you look is Bombardier. even
Is that where the fundraisers are coming from on the mainland?
Pittsburgh was
Pittsburgh,
Bombardier. Then we have, you know, open houses at the College of Engineering. There are 10 rail firms worldwide, at least, stronger. None of them shows up, only Bombardier. Big, you know, kiosk, and they are actually literally hiring students. There is something going on there. But the point is that these systems, because, you know, on a highway, you just do the highway and you're done. You put a couple of signs, then everybody drives their Camry or whatever it is, they have the vehicle. Well, you put a guideway for rail, it's empty. It needs the rails, the trains, the controls, the escalators, the elevators, all the lighting, everything. I mean, so all of this is purely imported. So time and again, and when I talked to Neil Abercrombie a couple of years ago, we had a sort of a mini debate. He agreed that the purchase price of these things is very large, and the federal money will go directly to buy equipment. None of it will get over here.
Right. So go ahead.
Well, I was
Sam.
just going to say, I think that, in fairness, though, I think Panos is being short-sighted. One of the real benefits for this rail would be to move the homeless people back and forth. You know, keep them moving, keep them mobile all the time. So then you have to worry about the beach parks. You can, you know, have them on the.
We already kind of
rail
have that with the
transit.
buses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about the roads? We have all these potholes. I don't know how you can't go down the street without seeing a pothole. It's very rare. And sometimes there's several potholes, and especially after big rains. If we're in a drought now and we still have potholes, a lot of times the rain gets blamed for that. So why do we keep having that, and what's it going to take to fix? I know with Mayor Fossey, he really had the roads in pretty good shape, and then under the last two administrations, they've really deteriorated. So why is that?
They deteriorated because particularly throughout the Harris administration, they were totally neglected.
So from 94 to 2004.
Right. Once you do that, then unfortunately, and this is the national international experience, you cannot do patchwork anymore. You have to do what is called rehabilitation. So you get rid of your pavement and you get rid of part of your base, and you make your road essentially brand new. It is very costly, but at least if you do it that way, you have a nice road for another 30 years. What do we do here? First of all, we have two very bad techniques in addition to patching. The city is doing what is called a quarter-inch overlay. That is total waste of money because it gives you the impression that it's a nice black top, and then it's ruined within 6 months. Number two is that you go into 2 or 3 inches of asphalt material that, again, it makes it look very good. However, to the knowing person, and many drivers are knowing, within a few months, it begins to sag like this because it has followed the foundation, which is already undermined. Our roads are undermined. And one way you know that, every time that it rains a little bit, red dirt comes out. It means that you have pumping already. Your foundation has been undermined. Water gets in, you pound it, and it pumps out. That's proof positive that the foundation is destroyed. Bottom line, there are perfect techniques to fix these things. We just don't do them. We turn a blind eye and we go and pave over it. Terrible.
So why do we do that? Just to save money, you think? Or?
Yes, short-term savings, because one technique costs $250,000 and the other technique $350,000. They are not willing to pay the extra $100,000 per lane mile to do the proper job, because the politicians or whoever the decision maker is, well, they say, well, I can do 1/3 more miles like that and I can get more votes.
I've heard you talk about tires. We don't recycle our tires, we don't recycle our glass into our pavement,
right?
Which would make it tougher.
Would make it better
friction.
And it's cheap ingredient and actually close to free ingredient.
Why don't we do that?
Because there is no legal precedent for it. You have to make it legal. You cannot just take garbage and put it there, right? You wouldn't do that.
Right.
So you have to legally put it in the code, the usage of tires. And to their credit, the Hawaii DOT has tried it, and with success. However, they didn't advocate to make it a legal addition to the code, so then contractors can, and that's not one reason. The second, when the city or state contract, they don't write it in the specifications that this is explicitly permitted to whatever percentage. So since it's not there, why bother?
Sam, in terms of, we're talking about the rail and taxes and so on. What do you see happening with the rail in terms of the tax collections? I mean, we've seen them, going down?
Well, they've gone down, mirroring what's happening with the economy as a whole. The mayor has made overtures to the legislature to raise the amount of tax. That's not going to happen. Legislature is not going to do that. In fact, last 2 years there were efforts to take that money away from the city and put it in the general fund to help balance the state budget. And I think a lot of people that initially were supporters of the rail, and let's make sure what we're talking about. We're talking about fixed, heavy rail guideway, the oldest technology, the most inflexible, and the costliest.
Steel, right?
Well, what Panos has talked about for years, and he's offered, like I said, he's offered suggestions and alternatives like hot lanes and so forth. The legislature, the economic problems have not been solved.
Right.
The furloughs, we just gave extortion money to the union to buy one more year of the end of furloughs. But we haven't solved that problem, and now the hurricane relief money is gone. So now that we're in the middle of hurricane season, let's all pray every night that we don't get a hurricane here, because we don't have the money. That money is gone. So the legislature, when it reconvenes in January, is again going to be faced with the problem of how to do things, and they are not going to be supportive of giving more money to the city. So without more of that money, without the federal component, with the costs rising daily, you're going to find a situation, I mean, I've been predicting all along, you are not going to see that rail. It may be, they may have 2 miles of it built in Kapolei in the open field. They could have a circle there and have the kids ride around on Sundays. Yeah, a demo.
Yeah.
Have a demo, and maybe Mayor Hanneman could put on a hat and blow the whistle and things like that.
So we only
It's not a transportation system.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
We can't afford it. Even Kamehameha Schools had an option, an alternative, and they were poo-pooed on that.
So we only have 39 seconds left in the show.
All right.
Sure.
So Panos, you're running for mayor. What do you think the big issues, real quick, are going to be in the campaign?
We got to fix the infrastructure, and that's going to be a major difference between myself and my opponents. My opponents, they want to do grandiose projects like rail. I want to fix what is broken.
And you have a website called?
FixOahuNow.com.
FixOahuNow.com. That's easy. And Sam,
we need an engineer. We
Yeah.
need somebody to take care of these problems, and we need people in the legislature that are going to say no to more taxes, no to more spending, and really be transparent.
and you have your website, samslom.com.
That's what they say.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you,
This
Malia.
has been News Behind the News, and the show always flies fast, and we'll have to have another show again soon. Thank you for joining us today. Aloha.